Good morning, everybody. If you can hear me, can you drop on the chat window? I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. I can't see anything on the chat window yet. Are we here? Can we drop? I can hear you on the chat window. All right, Adebayo, I can see you. Who is the other person? Is it only Adebayo I have here on the call? All right, thank you. So let's go on. So today we'll be looking at perhaps environment, the layout that's for Canvas application. And we'll be looking at all the tools that we have. I'm going to, okay, my screen is already shared. And so can you see these Power Apps? Victoria, are you here? Please, if you can see this, you can just unmute and say, yes, I can see. So we can just go on.
Yes, I
Yes,
can.
I can see it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, okay, so this is the
Yes,
layout.
I can.
All right. So this is the layout for the Canvas application, and I'll just go ahead and explain for everything we can see what they are used for, what each tools do, and their significance, what we can use them for, and all the rest like that. Okay, so the first thing here is file. Now, once you open your Canvas application, and the first thing I would advise anybody to do is to come to file and save it as, you can pick whatever name. So here I already add textiles, and you save here. So once you do this, anything you do automatically, Power Apps will save it for you, but you have to save it first here. So once you do that, you go back and you can continue building. So this is home where you have, all right, so this is your home, and under home you have all of this. So all of this currently they are disabled because you don't have anything here. So on that, once we add things here, you will see, I will explain everything we have under our home tab. So here we have insert. So for once you enter into your Power environment, you want to insert anything, you can insert screens. So let's say I pick blank screen. So blank screen is just the way it is, as the name implies. A blank screen is blank. So from there you can add so many things. You can add forms, you can add images onto your blank screen. So that's for insert, and that's for new screen. So under insert we also have labels. So let me insert label, and let's see what label can do for us. So under label now, so for everything, anything you are inserting, it has properties. So now we've inserted label, and we've seen, once you click this drop down, you can see different properties of the label. So the one that is very important for us right now is the text, so that you see the functionality of the text property of the label. So under text, whatever thing you want your label to carry, let's say textiles, canvas application, canvas app demo. All right, textiles canvas app demo. So you can increase your label, then you can centralize the text. Okay, I want the text to be in the middle. Okay, I want to increase it further. So your label is, the label is flexible. you can increase it. So okay, the text alignment now, I don't want it to be centralized. I want it to start from this other side, or I want to justify it. So however you want to do it, label is flexible. Another thing you can do to your label, you can add color to your label. So here, if you come back to the properties here, there's another property of the label called fill. So if you come to your fill, you can either put color codes here. If you know the color code of the color you want to add, you can just put it here, or you can just come here and say, I want it to be black. So if you, okay, let's not put black, because automatically if you remove all the color, it changes to black. So let's say blue. So we can see, so the label allows you to, you can also, you can add color to your label, you can add text to your label. Let's see another property that the label has. So another thing you can do, if you don't want to check the color, if you don't want to add color through the fill, you can click on your label, come to the properties here, and give me a minute. So now if you come here, you will see this will show you all the colors that we have. You can click green, you can click any of all of these colors. So let's pick wine because I really like wine. All right. So another thing that you can, sorry, please mute your mics. Thank you. Okay, so that's for fill. That's for adding color into your label. So another thing you can do is the border of the label. So however you want to design your label, you can either come to the property pane here, this property pane, you will see everything, the size. Maybe I want to modify, this is for the width, and this is the longest width, but yes, but for the height, let us do something to that. Let's say we want the height to be 126. Once you leave that, you see it takes effect. So you can, if you click on your label, you can come to the property pane here and do resize your label, modify your label however you want your label to be. So we've looked at color, we've looked at, okay, let's add border. Okay, we want to put a solid border, and we want the border to be 6. Once you see that the border also has changed. Now, if you click on your label again, you can still modify the border and say, okay, for this border, I want my border color. If you look at it, the border color is blue. I want my border color. You see the border color here. I want my border color to be black. Yeah, wine and black. All right. So if you don't want to click on the label and come to the property pane here, you can also, this is the properties of this label. You see align, you see align, you see center. That was what I did using the property pane. I just came to the property pane here and I did text alignment center. So if you come to this other side also, you see align, you see center here, align dot center. You can decide to say align dot, you will see all the things that are available, just the way you can see it here. Do you want it to align to the center? Do you want to justify it? Do you want to align to the left? So let's pick align to center. All right, so that's what we have for label. Now another thing that I just did now is I clicked, okay, let me come here so that you will see exactly what we are doing. So for your screen 2, right, we already added label. That's the first label, label 1. Then we came here and we added another label inside of the label. So this is it. Anytime you click on label, see, it adds another label. You click on label, it adds another label. You click on it, it adds another one. But if you come to your application, if you come to the screen here, under screens, you will see that, okay, for this screen too, these are the labels I've added. So the best thing is, as you're adding this label, rename it. Okay, I want this label to be called header. All right. So if I click on header, I can know that, okay, this and this is what I have done to my header. All right. If you click on another label, it addresses that particular label. Don't worry, if you don't understand what I'm saying now, you will before the end of this class. So I'm going to delete all of this now, and I'm also going to, all right, so we're having two screens because once you open your Power Apps, it already has a screen, a blank screen there. And you know that when we started, I added another screen, and that is why we have two screens here. Okay, and that is for insert. That's for label under insert. So we are going to look at another thing that we have under insert, which is button. So let's click on button and let's see the magic that would happen. So this is button. Now the difference between labels and button, buttons are clickable, and button does a lot of magic that label cannot do. So let's look at button and let's look at what we have. Now you will see that as you are hovering on this button, it's changing. That's because button has other properties that label does not have. So when you do things like, let's say you add a form and you want to submit your form, you should use a button. But we're still going to do a demo and we'll just see the importance of all of these things that we are adding do. So for button, let's look at the properties that button has. Button has the align property also, saying that, okay, this text that is inside the button, how should I align it? I want to align it to the center, I want to align it to the middle, however you want to align it. So that is why you have this align here. We have auto display on select. We have border color, which means that the same way we change this border here, I can also change the border of my button. All right, border thickness, how should the thickness be? Border color, color now. So we have, for this, we have the fill and we have color. So the color addresses the text inside the button. All right, so the text for this button is white. So I want to change this. I told us that we can add, if you look at this, see, it's already saying data type color, and it's showing you the color that it has. That's if you select this. So I told us that we can add color code inside of this color, or we can just type a color. Let's type let's say yellow. If you're not sure, if you can see this is yellow here, so if you're not sure the colors that we have on Power Apps, like I said, if you come here, if you click the property pin here, you'll see different colors that we have. You can pick red, you can pick green, you can pick wine, you can pick blue, you can pick whatever color you want to pick. So another property that the button has is, okay, it has content language, it has displayed border color, disabled border color. So when, if you disable the button, how do you want the color to be? Disabled color, disabled fill, display mode, fill. This fill addresses the color of the button itself. So if I click this, I can see the color, data type color, and you can see the color of the button, this current color. So if I clear this and I say, okay, I want this button to be mm, I want it to be red. I click on red. If I'm not sure the colors that Power Apps have, if I come here to the property pane, I can see all the colors. Okay, so let's just quickly go because of our time. We have height. What do I want the height to be? Yes, I want the height to be 100. I can change it. The over border color, that's, so this is it. We can see that when we over on this button, it's changing, right? So that's another thing that button has. So if you come here, you see, you select your button, you see your over color. What's the over color? What do we have for the over color? The over color is white. So the color we actually want to change is that blue color that we can see. So we come here, if we click here, you see that it's blue. So it's that blue color we want to change. So if you want this button to still retain the color when you over on it, you can just say self.fill, self.fill. I know that we are still new, you might not know exactly what self.fill means, but it's basically just saying that fill this button color uh with the initial color that I chose. All right, fill this button, let this over color be the exact color of the button. Okay, so let's just be fast. So I can say that, okay, I want, this is addressing the type of text that the button has. Then this is on select. That's if I select this button. Let's say I have a form and I put the button on the form. If I click on the button, what do I want to happen? So on select of the button, what should I do? Yeah, padding button, all of these things you can see here. Yeah, this is padding top, bottom, left, right. Okay, and so basically for each of whatever you drop into your screen, it has properties. So these are the properties of the button. And now if I click on text here, label is still, we've done label, we've looked at label. Let's look at, it's still the same label that we used here. So you can either click label here, or you come under text and click label, or text input. Now what is text input? Text input, this is text input, and that. Then we have input. So you can also input button, the same button that we've used here, still that input, text input, the same text input that we've seen here. Pen inputs. So for all of these, they do different things based on how you want to design your business, how you want to design or style your application. All right, checkbox. Okay, so once you just select all of these, it drops rating. Okay, so once you select all of this, it drops all of this onto your screen, and each of it has its own property So it means that how do I want to style this particular thing that I've dropped onto my screen? How do I want to style this beautiful rating here? We know that most times when we see rating, we see yellow, yeah? So I can just come here now and style it how I want it to be. So rating field, we can see it here. I click yellow, we see that it's yellow. I click green, I want my own rating. I don't want to use yellow. Yellow is generic. I want my own rating to be green. So basically, it has everything has this property. Um, Gallery. Okay, so let me clear. Okay, no, let me just open a different. Let me insert a different screen. So you come to insert, you go to new screen, you click on another screen. So for this screen now, let me insert our gallery into this screen. So I'll show us types of gallery that we have. So okay, before I explain gallery, let me quickly explain what we have on our tree view insert data media. That is because you see this gallery that I just inserted here is asking for data source, and I've not explained what data source is. So basically, you can insert you can insert different data sources onto your you can bring in different data sources to your Power Apps. So for instance, I already have let's say I section a table inside Microsoft Database, and I want to add it to this Power App, saying that okay, when you fill a form, I want that form to be submitted into a particular database. So what I do is that I come to this data, yes, and I select the data source that I want to connect. So if I want to connect the SharePoint, let's say I want to connect SharePoint, I can come here and connect with, but I don't have any SharePoint now to basically connect to it. So you can see it's saying that there is no data in your app, add data. So you come here, you add any data that you want to add. You can add SharePoint, you can add Microsoft Dataverse. Just say Dataverse. Dataverse. Where are you? Okay. All right. So we can just see all the okay, let us add accounts. Let me add this into. Okay, so it's loading. While it's loading, all right. So we can see that this account is actually is a default table. It's a default table in Microsoft Database, and I'm just adding it to that to just show us some things. All right, so we have this added here. Then, so now this gallery that you've added, you can see that this data that you've added now is showing in here. If there's no, if I remove this and there's no data, if you come here, you can see it's adding you to, it's asking you to add a particular data. There's no data in here for you to, there's no data in here for you to add. So during our introduction, I'm sure that Vicky explained to us that we have different number of connectors that we can actually connect to Power Apps. So we can see here is saying connector. Okay, I want to use, there are different types of connectors. Let's just scroll and see all that we have. Okay, the popular ones you heard when I was saying let's add onto here SharePoint. I'm going to show us the SharePoint. Okay, so another connector that we can use is Office 365. So yes, we can use Office 365. We can use SharePoint. I'm trying to look for SharePoint. Yes, see SharePoint here. The same okay, I already showed us this, just the same way that is going to ask us, do you want to connect directly? But I don't have any done I don't have any provisioned already, so it's going to take a lot of our time. So basically you add the data, any data source that you have on ground, you add it. So whatever you are doing here on Power Apps, it's submitting to that data, or you want to call for some things, it comes from inside that database. So here you can add your data. This insert is the same insert that we've seen here. So remember when we're looking at text label edit, okay, we've not looked at edit form, we've not gotten there. So data, then media. So now I can add any picture to Power Apps. But for this media, what it does is that when you, okay, let me just upload so that we can see. I don't know if I have any picture, saved picture. Okay, let's use this. So what it does now is that when you this media is for storing all your pictures. So you can come and, okay, let's say that I want to add an icon, or I want to add a logo. So what it does is you come here the same way I've done. You can upload the logo. Okay, actually I have some already. So let's put this logo. Let's say I want to design an application and I'm going to use this logo. I can just come here and store the logo here under our media, right? So once I store the logo under this media, it's going to be here until I call for it. What do I mean by calling for it? The same way that we click on our label and label will appear. We'll just come here and click on the logo, and logo will appear. Okay, so what I'm going to go back now to my application. Look at the image that I just added now. I'm going to delete it. Okay, all right. So that's for media. You can store all of your pictures in here, and you just click on it and you see the pictures. Okay, so as for picture and for images, all right. So for inputs, we've looked at all the okay, we've looked at all of this. I can drop in my timer, I can drop in my slider. It depends on exactly what you want to do. So we've looked at gallery. So we have different types of gallery. We have vertical gallery, horizontal gallery, flexible height, blank vertical, blank horizontal gallery. So if time permits, I'm going to just do something we'll do something very simple, and we'll see how we use each of these objects. So here is the data table. So data table, okay, let's do this on another screen so that we can, what do we do when we want to get a screen? See, I'm still on my insert. We go back to insert, you go to new screen, and you get another screen. Okay, so let us insert data table. Now, what does data table mean? For let's say we want to have a list of, let's say we want to have a list. particular list of maybe our data. We want to section it into table. So I have this data and I want this data to be in a table, just as the name implies, data table. You just come here and you connect it to the particular data that you have on ground. Let's say I have a SharePoint list. I can just connect this. So if you have, okay, let me just come here and add data. All right, so let's add this. So now I've already added this data into my Textilers application, right? So if I come to this data table, you will see it says in your app, meaning that you've already added this data into your application. So if I click on this now, can you see? See? So this is what I was trying to explain. I want to section all of this. I want to put my data into a table. We can see this looks like a table. It has different headings. So there's no data in this data source currently. That is why we cannot see any data inside. So if you have things in your data, you have things in your database already, you will see all the data here. All right. So you can edit the fields. That's editing fields means all of these things. Okay, I don't want it to be account name. I don't want account name to be here. I just come here, I remove the account name. All right. So it's basically very flexible. You can add based on all the fields, based on the fields are available in your data source already. Okay, I want this to be there. I add it. You can see I want to remove it. I just want main phone and address. I come here, edit fields. I remove master ID. I remove primary contact. I want it to just, this my data table. I want only two. All right. So I'm going to advise us to continue playing with it. You just come play with it so that you understand it. All right. Okay. So that's for data table. And now we have forms. I'm going to go again to another screen and choose form. So currently now we'll see that we cannot see all our screen. We cannot see, okay, where is my screen? I can't find my screen. Where is my screen? You go to your tree view. Tree view shows you all of your screen, all the screen that are available. Your tree view shows you that. Insert, I'm going to still explain to us all the things we have under this insert on under the insert of our hamburger menu. Currently, we are looking at everything we have on the insert of this insert that we have here. All right. Okay. So let's look at forms. So for forms, we have two types of form: edit form and display form. So for edit form, what it does is you can, like the name is edit, you can edit the form, you can put things inside the form. All those forms that says name, I want to put my name inside this form. Let me show us. So this form also is empty. This form is empty. You see, connect to data. So is I have my, okay, let me just show us. Let's pick data source. None, because you've not added any data source to this, but we already have two data sources from here, from this hamburger menu. Remember, I added accounts and contacts. So if I come to this form, if I click on this form, for the data source of this form, currently it's telling me none because I don't have any data source currently here. So if I come here, it says, oh, in your app, in this app, you have two data sources. currently. So let's add accounts. All right. So all the columns that we have on our account data table is what we can see here. So for instance, you want to maybe create an application for a school. You first go to your data source and your database, and you put all the columns that you want. For instance, okay, for this particular school application that I want to create, I want it to have I want them to once they come to my school, right? I want them to be able to fill their names, the class they are registering, the what else? The class they are registering, and let's say their age. So those are the things that will be on my database, right? And I will just insert. So if I'm using database, I'm going to insert database in here. From where? From our data. All right. From our data, it will be database that I'm going to insert, just like this. And I will insert the table of my database. So I'm trying not to use so many terms because this is introduction, and we probably don't really know what database is, because that is another is like another course on its own. So I don't want to bore us with so many terminologies like that. But basically that's why I'm using database. I'm saying that okay, you have a particular database, you already have your database provisioned. Okay, these are the columns I want in my database. So once you come to your Canvas application, you insert that particular database. And for this form now, I'm saying that okay, this form, I want these three columns to be in my database. I can just come here, you see them already. I can just the same way we did that of data table. Okay, I don't want address to be there, I remove it. Once you come to add field, you see all the columns that you have provisioned in your database. Everything will show here. You can just click it and you select it, saying okay, I want, we already have, okay, this is, we have account name, phone number, but there's no account number. I want account number. I want the address. I want account number. I want the address. Let's say another thing that I want is let's see, anything. I want address, phone, add. All right, look at your phone. Everything that you've added is here. So it's flexible. It depends on what you already have in your database. So you already have your everything you have in your data source. You provision it, add it to your application, and here is your form. Now, okay, this is, what's the time? 10:44. Okay, because I want us to do something, and that is when all of this will make sense to us. So this is for edit form. Now let's say I already have my form down. I already have a data down, and I don't want them to be able to edit the form. I can just from the onset click that I want a display form. The same way we did this edit form, you add what your database is already down, you add your, connect your data to your database, and you arrange it. That's the way we did the edit form. Another thing that you can do, okay, so we'll go to tree view again, and you can see all of the screens that we've added, right? So it's called form viewer 1, form viewer. You can change the name to whatever you want to change it to. So form viewer, because it doesn't allow you to edit your form. You only allows you only display what you already have in your database. All right. So we delete this. This is our form here. And um, So another thing that you can do is, I select this form. Let me just name it, let's say textiles form. Textiles form. All right. So anytime you're naming any of these, don't put space. Or what you can do, you can use camel casing to textiles form. All right. Okay. So another thing you can do is, you can come here and say, okay, for this form, I don't want it to be edit form. I want it to be a view form. Okay. You can see that all of these fields, it has gone away. Why? You will not be able to edit it. So if you have, it's empty now because there's nothing in our data source. It's empty. If it is not empty, you will see all the fields, but I cannot edit it because I've made my display mode for this form view. I can only view the data. So for media, we have image. So okay, all right, let's have another screen. So I go to insert again and I click new screen. Okay, so this is another screen. Screen 6 is I've inserted my image. So I'm closing the hamburger menu, but I'm opening my tree view now. All right, so for anything you add onto a screen, you can see it here. These are the things I've added onto this screen. These are the things I've added onto screen 5. They are not available on screen 6. These are the things I've added. Okay, so this is an image, is empty, right? Because there's nothing, you're not placing anything on this image. This is just like image container. All right. Yeah, so I just undid the change that I made. So if you come here also, you can undo your, see, undo, redo. All right. So remember that this media here, like I said, is for storing images. All right. These are the images I already have on my uh, inside my Power Apps. So if I come here, come back to my tree view, this is my screen, right? This is the image container that I just added. It's saying that I don't have any image here, right? But you can see these are the two images that I already added inside the media, this media here. So like I said, this media here is for storing. You can come here and store all of your all the images that you are going to be using on this application. You store it inside here. You come to this media here. This one is different from the one here. So the media on your tree view, the media inside your hamburger menu is different from the media on this your the insert is different from the media inside your insert the insert button on your header, the header of your Canvas Studio. All right. Okay. So if you come here, this is image. This will show you the images that you already have inside your the images you already have inside your application. That's the images you've already stored in here. So I come here, I choose logo. Can we see it has changed to Hashem's logo? All right, this is just a logo that I have. Okay, so if you are still here, can you type in the can you type I am still here? I am still here. I am still here. Let me go here and see us. All right, can we type I'm still here? I am still here. I am still here. Hello, can anybody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Okay. Okay. So, okay. So we'll come back to our screen 6. You click on screen 6, and this is the image that we have on screen 6. So still on our media, we have image here. We have barcode scanner. We have barcode scanner. We have, okay, we have charts. Okay, we have charts. We have line charts. All right. Then we have icons too. These are all the icons available. These are all the icons available. So I'm going to add the home icon. Where are you? I'm going to add the home icon somewhere here. Okay, let's do something small. So, okay. Okay, I didn't add any notification. I wanted to just show us. All right. Okay, so in here we have um different icons. This is the home icon that I just added. All right. You can add any icon that you want depending on what you want to do. You can add your cancel icon. So it is on the unselect of these icons that you choose what you want. Let's say we can say on select of this icon. Let's navigate. Let's navigate to screen what? Screen 2. Let's navigate to screen 2. All right. So if we play, sorry, if we play this and we click on home, it navigates us into our screen 2. So basically you have all of this. You have your gallery, you have your data table, you have your forms, you have media, you have icons, different icons. So it is what you want your icon to do that it will do. If for this home now I want it to navigate me back to the home screen, so let's say I name this home screen and I want it to navigate me back to home screen, I can just click here and say home. All right, it navigates me back to home screen, right? If I wanted to delete something or I wanted to take me away from here, I will just, everything will be on my on select of this. So even all the icons that we dropped, like the same way all of this label has property, this icon, once you select it, it also has their own property. See, color, overfill, height. I don't want this height to be like this. I want this height to be 100. You see, the height has changed. I want the width to be 200. Okay. Okay. So this is for components. If you build a component and you want to add your components, you can see your components in your insert pane. This is this is your AI builder. So this insert pane basically it enables you to insert different things onto your screen. Mixed reality. Your view. What your view does, you can view your data source. These are the data sources that I have in my app. You can view media. These are the images that I have in my application. You can view action. Okay, if you've done collection, so gradually we are going to we still get to the point where we are doing collection, we are writing variables and all of that. So this collect shows you your collection, it shows you what you have. Okay, remove this. Okay, unvisible. So currently I am on screen 6. So if you come here, invisible, on hidden. So on the invisible now, for each of these that, look at this. I can also choose the visibility of this logo here. Okay, I want the visibility to be false. What's going to happen if the visibility is false? You will not just see it. You see, it has gone. It's there, but on the property, this is how I want it to be. I don't want you to see it. Then under okay, so under view, you can see media, you can see collection. Go back, you can see your collections, you can see your variables. Like I said, we'll do variables as we go on. See your variables, you see action. So it's inside your action. You have collect, you have remove, you have invisible, you have on eating, you have power automate. So from inside your power apps, you can call an action. You can enter into your power automate from inside power apps and say, okay, for instance, let's go to our screen two. It's on our screen, okay, our home screen. So I can say that for this particular button, I go and I call an automate that, okay, anytime I click this button, do this and this. Anytime I click this button, do this and this. All right. Then this is your setting. So on the application, when you go to, when we save this on the application, I want to change the icon of this application. You can change your icon here. So you can do all your settings here. So we have settings, showing us what we have under our action. We can call power automate, showing us what we have in our view, showing us what we have in our insert, showing us what we have on our home. Now, when we started, we couldn't see anything in this home pane because we had not yet added anything. Everything was blank, so we couldn't see anything. So you can delete a screen, sorry, and you can rename a screen. So I'm deleting this screen now. All right, so it starts from home. Then action, settings, all this we have looked at. So for our home, we couldn't see Yes, so you can change the screen color. Okay. All right. All right. So we go back to apps and we can see Textiler. If you click on your Textiler, it's going to load. Sorry, I left that mistakenly. Sorry, I left that mistakenly. So it's already 11:02 now, and I'm going to round up now. Okay. All right, I closed all the things that we have been doing. I'm trying to open it back. Okay, so there we have it. So the last thing that I've not shown us is our on start of the application. So on this on start, we can write. I talked about that later on will show us variable. So we can just write some code on our on start button. We can write and write like a variable on our on start button. And see, it says set variable. So we can write a global variable on our on start button. And what on start does is if you run whatever you write in here, any code, any of your code, your logic that you write in here, once you run on start, it means that once this app is starting, I want you to do this. Once this app is starting, I want you to do this. All right. So I'm going to please you can unmute your mic and just ask questions if there's something that you want me to quickly explain because our time is actually gone. If there's something you want me to just explain quickly, you can unmute your mic and ask the question.
Good morning. Thank you for the lecture. I have a question, but it's not related to what you've taught today. Can I go ahead?
Sorry, please can you introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Abimbola.
All right. Okay. Yes, please go on.
My question is building apps on Power Apps. Can you deploy them to Google Play Store?
Sorry.
I said if you build an app with Microsoft Power Apps now, can you deploy
Okay.
it to Google Play?
Okay, I'm going to sorry, please give me a minute. Victoria, are you here on the call? So I'd like Victoria to actually answer that first.
Hello, can you hear
So
me?
please let me. Yes, we can hear you, Victoria. So the question is
All right,
that
I
if
heard the
you do
question. If
okay,
applications built with the Microsoft Power Platform can be deployed to Play Store.
yeah.
All right. So, firstly, the Microsoft Power Platform is used to automate internal business processes. I think I mentioned that in our previous class. So, what we do, because we are basically using or sitting on Office 365, we automate internal processes within an organization. So we don't build applications with the Microsoft Power Platform to deploy them to Play Store. I don't know if I've answered your question, Abimbola.
Yes, I get it now. Thank you.
All right. So I don't know if Amara to have something to add to it. Okay, I think Amara is kind of not available now, but that's like the answer to it. We don't build applications with the Microsoft Power Platform to deploy to Play Store. So I don't know if that's all, or is there any other question? And Omonola, please, are you done with the class?
Yes, I'm done with the class.
So do we have any other question, please?
I don't have any question for now.
All right, thank you. So I think that's all for today. We'll be meeting same time next week, 10 a.m. And yes, would encourage that we join early. And this recording rather, will be available on our YouTube channel. I'll share the link later. Once again, thanks for joining today's section.